John Levy.
But then they have a couple of weeks to pull out, so you might, you can see on the horizon if folks start to disappear.
Good. I hope Sam Dean pulls out.
The more it looks like you can call the winner on the county exec race, the more inclination there'll be to.
Yeah.
Because I don't think
you still stand. With the sheriff being.
I still think Mike's going to do it, just because of his consistency in winning. And
I'll tell you what.
He turns out some people.
He lost a lot of votes at the Bowie parade, Memorial Day parade.
And I hope he paid attention to.
He's got to stop that foolishness.
Well, it's
ostentatious and it's off-putting.
It's impressive first, and then you go.
Ooh,
it's like this guy's in my backyard, and how long are you going to stay here?
Yeah.
Go home. It's it was an impressive showing. Getting anybody to come anywhere on a hot day
except it was Memorial Day, and instead of having all these stupid signs all up and down the parade route, sugar flags.
I think I mentioned something to the mayor about it.
Yeah, the mayor was irate
about why don't you just have a rule that the politicians are in the back.
I think they're going to have that now.
And that's
Steny Hoyer.
Yeah,
one of the most powerful people in the United States government was 64th in the parade line, and he was there with an aide and a couple of Secret Service guys. I guess.
Yeah, well, but yeah, he knows how to do it.
Oh, he does.
He just
he's a pro.
And the bullhorn stuff was a little much.
Oh, the bullhorn. That was John Levy.
Yeah, okay, John Levy.
That was absurd.
Well, you don't like the. It's one thing to have a cannon go off at a parade. You go, okay, well that's a cannon, But when you're getting jarred, like it's a crowd control, you kind of go, geez, I'm back in college again. Getting a bullhorn stuff in my face.
Do you think this election will end?
Oh, the good thing is it all ends. Well, it'll be over. It'll be over on
September.
Yeah, it'll be over on September 14th. So that's. I think that's going to be an interesting thing to see how you're actually see. The government's going to start to form immediately after.
Oh, of course, there are no Republicans.
Right. And that's. Is Audrey Scott involved at all? Is she?
I don't know. She lives on the Eastern Shore. I don't know why she would be. Isn't she the Maryland Republican commissioner now? Yeah, she
chairman of the party. Yes, right. She took
party.
Mike's job, Mike Steele's job. Yeah,
and he's doing a lovely job out there in the national scene.
I admire Michael because he came up through a strange element of the Republican Party, the ultra-conservative people with all the buttons all over their shirts.
Yeah.
And he survived that.
He's not going to survive this.
I don't. I think they'll find him a think tank somewhere and. It'll go off into the horizon. But
you have the I'm a former Maverick McCain coming out against him. Yeah,
well, he's done a 180 on the immigration stuff too.
Yeah, which hypocrite.
Yeah, well, but it'll be refreshing to have a clean slate, and hopefully, if O'Malley prevails. At least you'll have some continuity in the State House where some serious problems are going to have to be addressed.
Oh, there's no question.
About the deficiencies that are accruing.
Some serious problems, John, are going to have to be addressed at the county administration building.
Yep.
Why don't you just give me a little synopsis of the major issues that this county faces that have to be
the burst of the real estate bubble is directly tied to the source of income for the county.
Yeah.
So their house went down a third. Well, what does that mean for your tax bill? Likewise goes down a third. Well, on a revenue side, that means there's not going to be any money there. There's going to be, I think, substantial layoffs in the schools. They've been on a borrowing spree, which. With park and planning, not borrow, misappropriation of funds spree that Doug Peters put a stop to. But they can't just go rob another budget and say, it's okay. That's going to stop. You're going to see the police probably pull back on their activities. The health system, I think they've hit a snag again. I don't know what the politics of the interior politics of that was, but there's serious buyers that wanted it.
And it fell flat.
And it's because it's a lousy. Out of $1 billion or so budget, it's a couple of $1 million a year in deficiency, which the hospital's been operating at a deficiency forever, since I was a kid.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they take care of poor people. Now, okay, poor people don't pay their bill. Oh, all right, what do you want? You want to trip over them in the sidewalk? I mean, they should go to a hospital. And the county should knuckle down, and you know, the unions have not been, as I understand, they have not been a severe impediment to it. It's just not dealing with the reality that it's a public, subsidized facility.
Yeah.
And deal with it. Just accept it, and then you might find a qualified buyer to get in. I think the development community, or the development activity, it's going to have continue to slow down. Yeah. And that's not going to be. It's not good for county revenues. The ability to work with the Annapolis, it's, you know, they can try, but Annapolis got its own problems.
Oh,
you know, they've got their own deficiencies.
And there well, there was at one time, but for the last several years, there's no communication between Annapolis and Upper Marlboro. Right. I don't know whether the county executive thinks he's too good to address them, or what's going on. But and equally, no communication between the county and this city, right, which is the largest in the county, one of the largest in the state.
Clearly the largest taxpayer.
And clearly the largest taxpayer. Yeah, they like our money, but they don't like us.
Yeah, it's...
I'm sick of that.
Well, it's... some of it's being afraid of your constituents, which is really kind of an odd phenomena, but you actually sometimes see that in politicians.
That's a good point.
Where they get afraid. And they don't,
no, you make a good point.
And it's, when you're afraid of somebody, you don't want to engage them, because you start...
Well, Bowie's always had that traditional... reputation.
There's something in the water.
Uppity folk there, yeah. Uppity folk.
We used to say if Bowie got one more rec center, it'd slide into the Patuxent, because Frank Francois was so effective when he was when he was a county-wide guy. But
he's on Facebook.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Is his health still well?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't.
Well, I know he had some.
He had some problems.
Talk about one of the most brilliant minds that have ever touched the government. He was the best we ever had. Absolutely the best. County execs included, Wayne Curry included. Frank is a brilliant guy.
Oh, gosh, yes.
And it was just like going to a lecture. I mean, he didn't lecture.
No.
But you sat there and you lapped it up because you were learning all this stuff.
Oh, yeah, he was superb.
How the government.
We don't have any of those anymore. Not many, anyway.
I wish I could pick one, but they don't.
Yeah.
I can't. I can't pick one you define as a scholar, like a Roy Hart or a Frank Francois, even Glendenning.
Yeah, Paris.
Glendenning. Yeah. I saw him on your show a couple of weeks ago, and it's just great to see him in his next career, and the things he tried to do, we got a lot of them done. And now he's on to this smart growth thing, which everybody else now has finally bought into.
No, we don't have. That's a definite lack in Upper Marlboro.
But it's certainly not for lack of compensation or workload. It's not a,
They have plenty of staff. Well, I'm told by She Who Must Be Obeyed that this is our wrap. I think that was very good. You'll be back again.
Thanks. Thank you. Look forward to it.
Don't forget to keep notes. You're going to have to start going to parties and things now.
Well, there's certain attorney-client privileges that are, we use with politicians too. So. Thank you.
Thank you. Always good to see you as our official political correspondent. And thank you, viewers, for tuning in. And we'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.